Today's video is gonna be a flip through one, so I'm gonna show you my reading journal updated with the books that I've read in September, so I can also talk a little bit about these books.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome, I'm Stefania.
I've added a few books that I read in September here, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up the year with some books that are gonna be empty. I've said this before, I always put more books than my actual goal. I don't even know if I'm gonna reach my goal this year, so for sure I will have some empty books there. I've updated my book log with the books that I've read, and as you can see, I've made a mistake, but you can always fix mistakes in a way or in another, so don't worry if you want to start a reading journal but you're like, oh, it's gonna be full of mistakes. It's fine. You can always fix them, or if you want, you can leave them like that. Reading tracker, I've managed to read each single day also in September, so I'm pretty happy about it, because that's my goal, is to read a little bit each single day, doesn't matter how many pages. Here there are the books that I've read in September, and I have to say that some of them were very good, some others not so good. Big one, my favorite book for the month, which was also my big one because this month was my favorite book without a doubt, it was really easy, was the Cinnamon Spice Inn, which was 5 stars. I don't know why I haven't covered it. Oh, let's fix this in 30 seconds. I absolutely love this one, and I've also started thinking a little bit more about my rating system because well, there's something wrong with not having even five stars by September. Favorite books, 5 stars, so the Cinnamon Spice Inn ended up also here. I will for sure change something going into the new year because I've already started noticing this. I look back and I see books that, for example, were 4 stars and a half for a very small reasons for me, and I'm like, you know what, thinking back about that book right now, I'm like, that could have been a 5 stars for me. So I will for sure change a little bit because it seems like my brain went into searching for, I would say, almost the perfect book to give you 5 stars, which is really unrealistic. I guess that, well, there are people that are like having problems because they give too many 5 stars and they're like, is it really a 5 stars? I'm the opposite. Monthly read has been updated with the 5 books that I read in September. So by looking at this page, it's crystal clear that 5 would be a month of book for month, but March was a pretty bad one because I've ended up reading only 3 books, and this is definitely what brought me so back with my goal, because right now I'm behind of 2 books exactly. So while in June there were 4 books and in another month I managed to read that, let's say, missing book, it didn't happen for the 2 that I've missed in March. I don't know. The Xiamo con le streghe has been updated, Cerbero Book Club has been updated as well. It's just that this year it looks like I truly feel bad when it comes to read with book clubs. Not like I'm bad, but I'm in a phase in which I'm like, okay, are you really call me or I will not read you? And it has been happening with a lot of books that have been picked up by the Cerbero Book Club this year, so yeah. Keep in mind we have a book each single month. There is only the exception of August and December in which we don't meet, so we usually pick a bigger book for September or January, and well, 9 months, 4 books. I think this explains a lot. Series tracker, this is so funny. I've updated it, but I'm missing to add the name of the series. I suck at this. Bingo has been updated. Storygraph challenge with September, I'm at 43 books and my goal is still 60. And yes, I'm still behind with 2 books. Alphabet Challenge has been updated. Same from the one for the authors. Other challenges, this one I still have to look at it a little bit more because I'm pretty sure I've read something else. The Buzzword Reading Challenge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm still missing to print something because there are 6 and I have only 4 covers. Cover challenge. I don't think that I will finish these challenges, honestly. I mean, the general one, I know I will. I know because I'm just missing one and I just know it. The other 3, I don't know, I don't think I can really finish them. 25 in 2025. Well, I think that with September I've colored only 1, but I might be wrong because no, probably it was only the 1. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it because this one, it should come out in Italian in November, and since I have the first one in Italian, I was waiting for the one as well, and I don't know, maybe I will read it. This one is not a problem. This one, I don't think that I'm gonna manage to read it because I was thinking of borrowing from the library the ebook version. They don't have neither the ebook version neither the physical copy, and I don't feel like actually buying it because I'm trying to buy less books this year, and so I guess this one is not gonna end up being read at the moment. This one for sure will read it throughout December, I just feel it, or by the end of November, because I just want to get into the Christmas mood, and I don't know, I'm talking about watching at the cover, which this series I think was the perfect one to teach me not to think about the cover itself, because the second book had all of this foliage that was screaming like autumn, and instead it was taking place in summer. But this one has Christmas stuff here, so I think it's gonna be perfect for Christmas, but I might be wrong. A Tempest of Tea, I don't think I'm gonna read it this year. I don't know, I don't think it can happen because there aren't so many months left, and I already know that December is gonna be my let's go full into Christmas books month, I guess. And same for this one, so I don't think I'm gonna finish this page. This one instead I would love to, because I truly want to finish the series. Genre Tracker and TBR have been updated. No, the TBR no, because I have to check out actually the books that I've added. I had a few moments and before doing another mistake that then I would have just brought down for the next few months, I was like, okay, let's take a small break. And I still have to do that. I still have to see the books elbow because I'm pretty sure about a few, but I think it was the beginning of October, not the end of September, so I just have to check it out. Reading stats, September was a normal month, I would say, because it was 5 books. 4 books, 1 physical book, 4 in English, 1 in Italian, and then there's the rating, and I'm so happy to finally there's another 5 stars. And I guess now we can move to the monthly pages. As always, if you want to plan with me videos online, I'm not going to talk about the monthly stats because I've just talked about them in the daily pages. Monthly view, as you can see, there were 5 books plus 1 that I've started, but I haven't finished it in September, so it's going to be my October flip through video. I think it's crystal clear that right now I'm taking quite a few days for all the books, because even for short books, it's not like I do miracle, let's say it this way. Reading tracker, as I said, I managed to read a little bit each single day, so my goal was that one, so I don't have a problem with it. I don't think I will ever change it to something like more, for example, this amount of pages a day or this amount of time, because I would feel like that would be too much forced. Instead, this was born as a just bring back the good habit of reading instead of scrolling through social media without even using your brain. And so I would like to keep that goal rather than change it. First book, How to Find a Missing Girl, 3 stars. Have I enjoyed it? Yes. But at the beginning it was really taking me, then after a little bit it turned out to be a little bit too much boring for this type of genre. I was like, okay, now? And then it quite of took a little bit again by the end, but the problem was that the boring part was way too much. I think I was expecting something more, yes. Instead it turned out to be a little bit too boring for me, which is why I didn't feel like giving more than 3 stars. I don't know, I think I was expecting something different. Probably the fact that my brain really loved and keeps on thinking about a good girl's guide to murder is a problem, because now every single time I read something like that, I expect it to be like that one, and it's stupid. But I was a little bit disappointed, really. Also because, I don't know, I didn't even feel so much from the characters. And that quite of led me a little bit disappointed, I would say. So for me, it was a 3 stars. I'm not saying it's a bad one and that you won't enjoy it, because I've enjoyed it, yes. But then there was this big part that was too boring for me. It was definitely too much. So I was like, okay, no, it can't even be a 3 stars enough for me. Then it was time for Captain of Fates. And if you want, there's a book review online in which there are also spoilers, so if you really want to know more about what I think about this book, you can go and check out that video. I've enjoyed it, yes, 4 stars. Was the one that I was expecting the most? No, because when they said that Twin Crowns would have 2 spin-offs, I was waiting for the other one, which is gonna come out in 2026, so I still have to wait for it. But still, even if it wasn't the one that I was looking for, I would say that Marino's story really got me. I found it pretty much interesting and I really loved this series, so also this one was a very enjoyable one. 4 stars. I have to say that the big surprise didn't surprise me so much, so for me it wasn't like I'm shocked. But still, I've enjoyed it. I can't wait for the next one, absolutely yes. The book starts with meeting against some older characters, and when I say older, I mean characters we've already met before. And so I would say, if you want to read this one, first read the Twin Crown series, because yes, these are spin-off, and maybe you could read this one and understand it, but I do feel like to fully get, especially why certain characters do what they do, you truly need to read the first 3 books. I really loved it, 4 stars, and I can't wait for the next one, because that's the one that I've been waiting for since forever. Then it was time for the Cinnamon Spice Inn, which as you can see was a 5 stars for me, and since I read 5 books and I had the 10 empty page, I was like, you know what, this book will deserve to have 2 pages. So I created a huge giant title, and then I've added everything else. As you can see, I went way too crazy over with these stickers. They are available on my shop, so if you want, you can find them there. I will leave the link in the description box, because they were perfect for the book. Like, the book's set in autumn, but most of all, this book really was screaming autumn vibes. I was reading it, and every single time they were talking about the food, I was feeling it. So the descriptions, they really worked amazingly for everything, for the setting. So I was reading it and I was feeling like I was walking in this place in autumn. And when it was time for food, same thing. Hear me out. I'm not a fan of cinnamon roll, okay? Because I'm not a fan of cinnamon. Like, I love the smell, but I don't like the taste. I know, bad for me. But the thing is that every single time that they were mentioning that, it was so well written that I was like, I want one. And I don't even like them, okay? So this was like absolutely amazing. I'm not saying that the book doesn't have some things that probably would have been done better. But I'm telling you, I really enjoyed it. And this one is definitely a book that I would tell you, go and read if you really want to get inside that fall vibes. Because here, every single thing you're gonna read is gonna scream autumn. The two main characters, I really like the fact that Madison and Zach are well made. I think it was so funny that while she was overthinking about others and was always putting others first, I'm finally happy, maybe I could, but then this happened and that would be the perfect key to help my dad. She just, let's say, sort of sacrifices herself all the time, and instead Zach is that one that's like, sees her once and then he's like, we're back again to when we were together years back, and he's playing a whole life with her, even if he knows she's not gonna stick around. I really, really loved it. I also love the fact that there's this sort of miscommunication thing going on from both parts in different situations. I definitely enjoyed it. That was the thing that made me feel like, if you would only actually really talk, you could really fix everything. So that was definitely something that always get me nervous, the miscommunication things, don't saying something or just saying something without giving the whole picture, or you see something and you don't even ask why or explain it to me and you just jump to conclusions. It's something that always gets on my nerves. So that is for sure something that I'm not a super fan of, but I do understand why they needed in books. And this was definitely a lovely book. It was perfect to feel all the autumn vibes. Then it was time for an Italian book, which was La distanza tra me e ciliegio, which for me was a 3 stars. Not too bad, but not even that good. I think I was expecting something more, which is ridiculous because basically the main character is a little girl who goes to elementary school, which is slowly losing her capacity to see. So she's scared of the fact that she will have to adapt to live in the dark, let's say it this way. And to understand if she's getting worse, she always counts how many steps there are between her and this tree, which the more you go on in the book, the smaller the number gets, because she's like, okay, I can see the tree from this many steps today. And then a few days later, she's like, oh, I can now see it with just this amount of steps, until she basically has to be very close to the tree to actually see it. I enjoyed it, yes, but there were things that for me were left too much aside. Probably I should have gotten inside this book with a different mentality. I'm not saying it was a bad read, but I'm also saying that I'm not gonna read the second one because I'm not really looking forward to that. But this was a 3 stars for me. Then it's time to go to the worst book of the month for me, and actually I didn't really enjoy it. 2 stars and a half for Love and Lattes at Pumping Solo. I wasn't feeling it. I don't know, maybe it's because I just came from the other autumn books, so I was expecting to feel it so much also here. Instead, I wasn't feeling it too much. And most of all, I was like, seriously? You have this farm and you can make up money throughout the summer/spring, but when autumn and winter arrive, you don't have an income basically, so you start being in debt, you start thinking, how can I fix it? I will need actually something to bring in a little income in autumn. And for me, this is ridiculous, the fact that the characters have to reach this point to realize it, or better, I would say that Willow doesn't get it, because I'm pretty sure the father got it and tried his best to, but probably he was also, let's say, getting to the point where it was like, I am about to retire, I don't want even to think it, that there's gonna be something is gonna fall from the sky into our hands, I don't know, but I'm like, you aren't 19, you are an adult, so you should actually instead know that even if your father is not telling you that the farm is financially going bad, I think you could see it. Okay, you earned this much throughout spring and summer, but is it much enough to cover up for these 2 seasons plus the other 2? If the answer is no, which you should have seen it before, you should have started wearing it way before. So I wasn't already a big fan of this thing. Like, while in the other book, the main character couldn't know how bad her father and Dain were at, was because she wasn't living there. She hasn't put a foot back in a few years. So I could understand that, because you can only think, oh, it's going well because they're not telling me there are problems. They're like, everything is fine, so you can know it. So she was living in another place. She wasn't even in that small town. But in this case, you lived there. You work on the farm every single day. So how could you not see that? So this was already the first thing that was like, the other one? Really? You didn't follow about having a farm and doing something with pumpkins? Seriously? I was like, okay, this is no. And then there's all of this problem between the two main characters, because I just don't feel the chemistry. There should be, but I just don't feel it. I didn't like her, but I wasn't even a fan of him, I would say. So will I read the other books in this series? I don't think so, because this one was a bad start to me. And maybe the other one are gonna be better. I'm not saying no, they're bad without reading them, but just reading this one doesn't put me in the mood, doesn't put me in the, oh, I really want to read the others. Well, I will keep on reading the other series because the first one was a lovely one for me. I will not do with this one. For me, it was a 2 stars and a half. Too many things that weren't working. Way too many. I don't think you should read this one. If you want to get into the autumn vibes, read the book that I just talked a little bit before, because this one definitely doesn't even make you feel like it's autumn. I'm sorry. So these are the books that I've read in September. I was wondering, have you read them? Yes, no. Are you planning on reading them? Let me know it with a comment. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, remember to give it a thumb up and to subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you so much for your support. See you next time. Bye!